How now? How now?
Oops.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
La 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 la.
Here's my number. Call me maybe.
What is going on here?
Man, I love pop music.
All
Selena
right, let me know
Gomez,
when we're live, Adam. Okay, I'm ready to go, man.
Rachel Platten, like a small boat in the ocean.
Motorboat, like
Like a small boat in the ocean, something.
Adam, make sure you tell us when we're live so we don't sound like idiots on the air, okay?
All
Yeah, I
right.
hate when Adam does that.
I think he can't talk because he has this mouthpiece on.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, everyone.
He's
Yeah.
got his.
You're listening to Smooth Jazz on HVAC Overtime.
Okay, now we're live.
Oh yeah,
All right, cool.
that's our boy Steve Domaninski. How do you say his last name? Dominkowski.
I call him Domansky.
Domansky.
I call him
Yeah.
Demansky too.
Domansky.
Now,
Domansky.
I do have to say that when I got this in the mail, I thought you sent me underwear. I literally opened it up. I go, "What the fuck did you send me underwear? What the?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a mask. Okay, got it."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You know
the
what?
next package you get will be underwear.
If you could fit your feet through it.
I'll send you some of my old underwears so you can feel special.
Well, the problem is that it's going the wrong way. Like it's just like a cradle if I put my feet through it. Like
That's all you really need. You just need a little bit of support.
For the summertime, yeah,
You
you're
know, A
right.
little bit of support, a little bit of separation. You know?
Apparently Adam screwed up again, and we were live the entire time we were doing our vocal warm-ups. The chat.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Hey,
gotta-
real
gotta-
quick, while we're at it, talking about nothing, let's talk about something real quick. Next week is a big episode for us guys. Bill,
Super duper time.
That's hot tea. Holy fuck.
it's
Sorry.
Hey, now this is definitely not for children. Thanks, Chris. Our 30
Crystal,
cents just got taken away.
Have we ever made a show that we're like, hey, bring your kids. It'll be fun for them too.
True,
And we're
good
like,
point.
shut your whore mouth, bitch.
The future is what we make it.
So
Yeah.
Refrigerants.
next week is
I'm here
number
to keep kids
50.
off drugs.
It's number 50. Our 50th
Number 50.
episode.
The 50th edition. Is that the 50th anniversary then? Like if anniversaries are week long? Would it
Yeah,
be
but we
anniversary?
skipped a couple weeks. I think one
How
time.
many have I been on? I think I've been on like 4.
No,
No,
but
yeah,
you were like a
more.
normal guest, like probably at least 5
Yeah.
times prior to that.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You're like
There's a while where nobody wanted to come on the show. We're like, well, Chris will do it. Let's just get Chris.
I guess. Fuck. You see, before I was in your private chat, now I know I'm privy to what happens in your private chat. But
Yeah.
before, I bet you it was like, anybody got any ideas for guests? No. I really don't want to have to ask him again. No. All right.
then
fuck it.
I
Got
gotta-
nothing else.
We had a list of like 37 people that we asked. They're like, no, he said no. He said no. And like even the janitor from Train said no. Like, well, I guess let's ask Chris.
I should try to go rewind our chat, which is like probably
No, we
430,000
purged it a
pages
couple
ago.
times. We
But-
purged-
yeah.
But prior to you joining, Chris, I remember me, Joe, and what's your name again, Beardface?
Bill.
Bill. We were in. I was like, hey,
No, I can't take it.
would you guys want to ask Chris to join overtime? And both of them were. They were both like, yeah, that would be cool, but there's no way he would ever do it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm serious. This is one time I was a little negative about it. I was
I
like,
said-
no, he's
totally negative about
I said,
it.
all right, so you guys are good with it? Yep. I'm like, I think he'll do it. No, he won't do it.
I was actually
like
the positive one this time.
15 minutes later, I'm like, okay, he's in. They're like, are you kidding me?
I'm like, like, did he lose his job? Does he have nothing better to do now?
I got nothing better to do.
That's right. It worked out good for us.
You guys became my fake internet
We're
friend.
glad to have you, Christopher.
Speaking of having somebody cool, next week on number 50, a super. Take it away, Bill.
A super duper gigantic person is going to be joining us next week.
Special
Should I tell
guest.
him?
To the hut?
Tell him.
No, BCDC, Big Clive. Big Clive is going to join us again next week.
I was making a
And-
Spaceballs reference.
And the reason Big Clive is, also before I forget, hey Randy, hey Luke, if you can hear me, bark twice. So, Mr. Big Clive is going to be joining us next week. Now,
Nice.
we reached out to Mr. Big Clive because all of our guests are all awesome and unique in their own special ways. But Mr. Big Clive here, he's sort of very unique. He's a very unique individual, and he brought a lot of uniqueness and intelligence to the show, that of which we have yet to match. So I figure let's bring him back again, celebrate the 50th episode with our very dear friend, Mr. Big Clive.
So let me ask you this: are we gonna let people call in and ask Clive really difficult, crazy questions like we did last time?
Only if our first caller, I say we call, I want to call up the first caller. I would like to call the first caller. Okay.
I don't think we should. I think we should be nice to Clive and not have random people call.
That's true.
I want
ask
to.
second that.
questions that make him like.
We'll set it up in advance, and I think number one should be that guy Tom.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's a horrible idea.
Oh, you guys. But you guys don't see in the private chat.
You might as well just take your auto text and just make up sentences and then just fire them at Clive. You'd be like, tuna sandwich, goldfish, brown cloud.
Adam, you have a random text
Killing me, bud.
phone?
And then see, like, yeah, what do you think, Clive? I'm like, I what? That's just gibberish.
Guys, I'm gonna blame it on your long day, Bill. You had. What happened today, Bill? Usually you're not that late. What's going on today?
The thing that happened was I got stuck in traffic for an hour and 45 minutes down in Ohio. I just sat there, like just on whatever turnpike, 75 North or whatever it was. I don't even remember, but I just sat there for like at least an hour, and then we started to slowly move the last 45 minutes. Ridiculous. And then I got up there and expecting to see this ginormous accident with bodies all over the road, trucks on fire and helicopters. No, it's just people merging, apparently. It took me an hour and a half to get to a spot in the road where people just don't know how to merge.
You could never live in California, Bill.
No. I would reenact that movie Falling Down if I did.
Yeah. Oh, that is such a great movie. When
It is.
loses his shit. That is a great.
That fly just pushes him over the edge, man.
So
What's that? Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say, what's that picture in the chat you sent, Bill? What is that?
Oh, that is a condenser out of a 1950, I think it was a 1955 Mark III Lincoln prototype for their AC system that they had in that thing. And if I could figure out how to share it with you guys, I would show everybody. But last time I tried to do that, I got kicked off. But no, this condenser, man, it's pretty massive. The car actually has a receiver underneath of it for some of the refrigerant. I was trying to get a picture of the compressor and the evaporator, but I haven't got that yet. But just the condenser, man, that condenser is huge for a car.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
That is huge. I thought they were gonna say some kind of stainless steel walking or something. I can't make it go.
At first, one of my buddies there, he sent it to me. He's like, "Hey, what do you think this is?" And I don't know, like a cooler at a grocery store or something, And I don't know. He's like, "No, it's out of a car." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Wow.
Like holy garbage cans, Batman. Amazing.
If you get an opportunity, Adam, can you approve my screen share?
Don't do it.
when the opportunity arises.
When the opportunity arises. There you go. So I've got this job coming up, and I'm not a big job kind of a person. So this is really not that big, but it's a 15-ton air handler.
Nice.
And I didn't think the customer was going to approve the replacement. This is a heat pump air handler. I have this coming up. So that ladder that you guys see, that is a 16-foot ladder. So that air handler is suspended 16 feet in the ceiling. It is going to be a pain in the ass. So I got it approved, and then now I got to figure out the logistics, because that air handler weighs 700 pounds.
You got that. You got that. Get 4 guys.
Yeah.
A pulley.
No, actually, what I did was I spec'd this job that they got a general contractor involved. So my responsibility is purchasing the air handler, delivering the air handler. The general contractor is going to install it. I just hook up the ductwork after, do the refrigeration, do the vacuum. So, but my only thing is now, again, I overthink everything, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to send this to him, and that's a convertible air handler. You can literally make that thing into, you can make it go all different directions and everything. Yeah. So I have to be there to make sure he puts it up right, because I could just imagine I'll get there and the fucking thing's upside down, inside out, So it's like I have to be there to make sure that he lifts it up right. And then,
seeing the ductwork is already in place, he can only, unless you do supply and return opposite, he can only do it one way, I'm assuming, right?
You would think, but I am going to have to, on the left-hand side, there's an economizer assembly. So I am going to have to be there to bolt on the economizer assembly, and then he'll have to do all the rest.
There's an economizer on that?
Yeah, on the left-hand side. Well, they can't see it on the screen anymore, but yeah, on the left-hand side, there's an economizer. So the,
wow.
I'm looking at it right now. The return air actually comes in the top of the air handler. So it comes over the top.
Thanks, Adam.
Sorry.
And on the left-hand side, that is the economizer box. And then if you look, that duct on the very top is coming in and it drops down on top of the economizer.
Cool.
So
outside. Okay.
That'll be interesting getting that off.
What are they hanging the threaded rod from, by the way?
This is a shopping mall, so they're going into the shopping mall crap. That's like corrugated metal ceiling or something.
Yeah, but they have to have it on. Are they going to the top of the bar
cement.
joists or what? No, it's not cement.
Cement.
It's not cement.
On top of that metal.
Yeah, it is. It's
It
cement.
is?
They're going into that, and they have like they have seismic hangers on it too.
Yeah.
So that thing's all hung crazy.
Oh yes. And
But now that I'm talking through this job with you guys, I'm realizing a problem, and that's getting that economizer assembly off. See, I was thinking I was going to drop the economizer down with the air handler, but that's not going to happen because that return air duct is coming in the top. So I'm probably going to have to unbolt the economizer and leave it up there.
So let me ask you, maybe this is a dumb question. That economizer, does it go off the side of the unit and then go up through the roof to bring in outside air?
You know what? I lied to you guys. The return air duct is actually just out the side of the economizer. That duct coming in the top is the economizer duct going outside of the building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the economizer's fresh air is actually running 5 stories up. There's no joke. This building's 5. So the line set too, as I was looking at the installation data, that line set's going up 5 stories.
Wow, they run that economizer 5 stories up, huh?
You think that they have proper P traps the entire way? And
No.
Can we do I'd like to see the Navac 2CFM vacuum pump on that job.
yeah.
We'll love it.
Well, actually, I'm gonna get lucky because this is a carrier heat pump on the roof. You can stop the screen share, but it's a carrier heat pump on the roof, and it has isolation valves. So I'm gonna be able to isolate just the evaporator and the line set. So I'll do a recovery, pull as much refrigerant out of the system because it's a 410A heat pump. So I guarantee I won't be able to pump the whole system down with 5 stories of line set.
So what do they say? What is it, like a 2 psi pressure drop per linear foot, something like that?
Yeah.
Up or down. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's got to be a crazy run. But yeah, I hate this customer because when we have to work on those, every time I go to work on that, I spec it as a 2-person job, and I'm always there because I'm afraid of having my guys get up on top of that ladder.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to get up on top of there.
I really should have them bring in equipment lifts every time I have to
Like
serve
a scissor lift or something?
something. Yeah, but the construction company is going to do the lifting with their lifts and stuff.
You know
but
what you should get, Chris?
what's that?
Did you see those? So I've been scouring Little Giant. You know, I just bought 2 of those A-frame ladders, and I ordered the sumo stance extension ladder. But what they have is they have a cage ladder that goes up. I think it's over 16 feet actually, and you go up inside, and there's a cage, and you're locked inside, so it's safer.
Really?
Yeah,
So like when it falls over, you stay inside the cage?
exactly. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
So in the chat, Dave G asks, why are we changing it? So the customer, I have to be careful because I don't want to, say what the customer is, but the customer, their biggest thing that they sell is something that has a lot of spicy sauce to it. So it's airborne in the building, and the evaporator has 9 refrigerant leaks on it on all the return bins.
Oh, damn.
And so I quoted actually to the customer. I didn't want to change it. I quoted repair. I told him it was going to cost them like $3 or $4 grand to repair, recovering, recharging, welding on all the leaks. But I did put a disclaimer in there, like, I don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to have to wing it and see what happens. And they came to me and said, no, we don't want to repair that. Just change the evaporator. So I looked into getting the evaporator, and I want to say it was going to be $300 more when I quoted it out to change the whole air handler. So I was like, well, just change the air, because to change the evaporator, I have to drop the whole air handler down onto the ground anyways to take it apart because of the strut is under the support. So to take all the panels off, you have to drop it. So I was like, I can't see dropping that whole air handler and not changing the whole thing.
So what kind of a piece of equipment do you have to bring in to drop that thing down? Or are you just leaving that up to the...
That's
okay.
I was kind of thinking all
have-
you really need is like a sawzall and just hit those threaded rods. Boom.
And then just
boom.
Just go to like an antique store, get you one of them old wooden pulleys from a barn, and just like lower it down.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Tell me something. Seeing that it's like 5 stories up in a unit like that, it's over, I'm pretty sure, 50 feet. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it have to, like, did they engineer this
I'm hoping
unit?
so. Well, no. So the unit, so the line set is 5 stories up.
Okay, even still, that's a long line set.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm assuming that they did what they needed to do. Again, I didn't build this building. I just took over this customer about 3 years ago, and I've been servicing it. But we haven't had any oil return issues. I mean, the compressors aren't running out of oil, so they must have done something.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad somebody asked you in the chat. I was going to ask, okay, what was the issue of this thing? Is it relating to that? But I'm glad that's not the case. I would love to see an engineer spec a line set that long, and I want to see him, let's say, minimize the diameter or make the trap a little different size, blah 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 blah. I would love to see that, see it work.
What's interesting too is that there's a movie theater above this. So there's a movie theater that's 3 stories above this building, and I just want to know where the line set's running. Is it like in a closet in the movie theater that you can go and access it, or is it just like you can never access it again? But this entire building, all their exhaust fans, everything is running that 5 stories up. So they have 6 of these air handlers in their dining room and in their kitchen, all their walk-ins, all that shit is way up there.
They must have an access chase. It's for sure.
I would assume so. Thank goodness I've never had to access it. I have had an issue with a fire damper once before where the exhaust fans weren't working and I couldn't figure it out. And I don't deal with fire dampers. I never run into those. And I got to thinking about it and I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, I had to stop and relax because I was freaking out because I couldn't figure out an exhaust fan problem. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, it's got to be simple, dude. And then I'm like, what's this? Oh, it's a fucking fire damper, And it's like, bloop. Oh, that's what it was. The fire damper slammed shut. And
oh no, why didn't it slam shut?
Because I found out after the fact. Then when I went and started talking to the customer, the smoke alarms went off in the building. They had working on them, and then the smoke alarms went off, but there was no fire, so the fire damper's all shut. And then they told me this after I figured everything out. I was like, yeah, fire damper closed. I don't know why, there was no fire. And they were like, oh, the duct detectors went off. It's like, thanks for telling me that,
At first, when you said fire damper, I thought you were talking about the ones that heat up and fall down. I was like, wait a minute.
No, this was a spring. Well, when the duct detectors went off, it locked and slammed shut.
So let's take a minute here and talk about the logistics of what'd you say, 5 story long line set?
Dude, this tea is not getting any cooler. Damn. 5-story line. Sorry.
So it's up on the roof and it's just dropping that liquid.
Wait. I'm sorry. Not to confuse everybody, the condensing unit is 5 stories up. The air handler is downstairs. So
compressor's up in the condenser, right?
Yeah.
And so it's dropping that liquid 5 stories down. So as it's dropping that liquid down, your pressure is dropping. So
there's got to be some huge issues right there, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like the because you'd have to adjust that superheat in order to pump that vapor back up or to suck that vapor back up. Even though it's vapor, though, you still have a pressure drop when it's.
Remember, Bill, like you said just a little earlier, going down, you're picking up velocity just like you're dropping velocity when you're going up.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
That TXV is going to meter it properly. It's probably doing it's a nice solid balance port. TXV that probably has no problem metering it, but that vapor going up the 5 stories, does that vapor also have a pressure drop? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. If so, would you have to adjust the superheat? Like you'd have to have a higher superheat coming out of there because once it's halfway up that line set, that pressure of that vapor is gonna if you don't adjust it, probably it's gonna flash off or condense a little bit.
Can we not make me worry about this job anymore, Bill?
No.
Because I only quoted this for 32 hours, so
I was kind of you probably don't even need no vacuum pump on this one. Just blow and go.
Go. I'm not worried about the vacuum because it's going to be a brand new air handler, and I'm isolating the condensing unit once I recover the gas, so I'll never have to vacuum down the condensing unit. So I'm only vacuuming down the line set and the new air handler.
You should change the line set while you're at it.
Oh yeah, I'll get right on that, dumbass.
Oh yeah.
All you got to do is take the new line set, tape it to the old one, just pull it right out.
Joe.
They probably didn't strap it the whole way.
Are you like reading a Sears catalog or something right now?
That's a good point.
I'm trying to find the damn thing on line sets in a book I have.
Oh, you could have told me that. And I have it right here.
Look it up. I'm trying to fucking find it here.
Are those pages made of tinfoil?
I got so much shit here. You can hear it? Sorry, guys.
Just like we thought, correct, going down. That's what Joe Shearer said, yeah. And then,
but what about the vapor going back up? That's what I want to know. Does that vapor, I assume that vapor also experiences some sort of pressure drop because It's a vapor. It still has weight.
I kind of think, I don't know if it would be necessarily the pressure drop. I would be more worried about the condition
Oil
of
return.
the Armaflex. Well, oil return, you know, do you have traps and then the Armaflex, right? Because you could also be picking up heat along the way, depending
Yeah,
on the
that's a good
chases
point,
it's
too.
in and everything else,
Well,
right?
traps, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be traps that are protecting the units.
Yeah, I think we should change the subject because this is really
Should be traps. See, if I was doing this job, I would have done a lot of research. I'd be like, I need to cut open all 5 walls that go up this whole thing.
Chris,
Checking the
let's
P traps.
get out of there.
Yeah. Let's run a new line set.
I didn't even want to fix I didn't even want to change the air handler. I just wanted to weld on some leaks, but they're like, no, just change it. I'm like, yeah, thanks. That sounds really easy.
You know what's funny?
When I sent them the email and said, hey guys, I just went and sized up the job and realized this is not going to be something I'm going to be able to handle. I thought they were like, okay, they'll just call someone else. Cool. All right. I was good with it. And then they're like, okay, cool. We arranged a construction company. They'll meet you here. They'll do it. I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
I did another one of those this week too, where it was a shopping mall, a restaurant on a shopping mall's property, and the customer said it's a York Predator unit that has a bunch of leaks in it. Actually, same customer, different location, corrosive because of the stuff in the air. It has a bunch of leaks on the evaporator, and they're like, yeah, just change the unit and just put in a Linux instead of a York. And I go, because they buy them themselves, and they start sending me all the specs, and then because it's on a shopping mall's property, the shopping mall got involved, and I kid you not, they sent a 35-page questionnaire for the crane operator to fill out. They wanted like to know what direction he was going to swing the boom first, and they want like a whole lift plan, like everything detailed out. And I'm like, what the hell? I've never seen something like this. And then at the bottom of the contract, when I read it, they want permits pulled, they want all this stuff. And I finally went to the customer and I go, guys, I'm not capable of I can't deal with this right now. Like, you need to call someone else. And so they're like, okay, just fix the unit instead. And I'm like, I don't have time for that shit right now. Like,
What size air handler is the one that's hanging in the ceiling? 15 ton. I'm trying to remember the size of this carrier that I worked on. It's funny because everything at this place is trashed in Chicago.
Yeah.
And their landlord requires them to do preventative maintenance on it. What is that brown powder that people smoke that's like a loophole in the law that's kind of like pot? Or maybe you eat it? No.
Hash.
It's like a synthetic. Maybe it's not smoke. Maybe they just eat it or something. It's
bath salts?
Cinnamon.
No.
Cinnamon, that's a code name for like some bad
I think
shit,
they
right?
use it for.
It focuses on your fingers when you put it up close.
Come on, it's you guys know what I'm talking about.
Focus on your
I
finger,
don't.
not on your
Anyway.
face.
I thought I did. I thought it was hash.
No, I don't think you smoke it. I think you.
Keef. Is it called keef?
I don't know. I don't get it.
But anyways, you eat it, drink it, do something with it, but it makes you high. I actually, somebody gave it to me inadvertently one time because they said, here, mix this up. It's natural. It's like a plant-based thing because my back was thrown out and I had it and I'm like, dude, I thought I was on like freaking.
Huseman says,
Hello.
Spice.
Hello.
What is it? Spice? I don't know. But anyways,
Bueller.
this brown dust was in everything. The coil was clogged. It was everywhere. And like my clothes were ruined. I was like covered in this crap every time I was there. It was awful.
I did, Clive. I added a bigger like.
Mr. Green got my Love Boat reference.
Kratom. It's Kratom. Kratom.
That stuff doesn't get you high.
Right over my head.
If you take enough of it, it does.
I watched a documentary about that.
It does.
It's
They use that to wean yourself off of heroin or
Well, they use
methadone.
they sell that at supplement stores. Like
methadone out here is a big thing.
methadone.
Kratom is legal, but it will
Yeah.
get
You
you
know,
high.
You mentioned something about cranes, Chris. I'm serious. Take those serious because lately here in my area, there's a lot of them going down.
Oh yeah, no. I'm my guys go crazy. It's funny because I'm a nut when it comes to crane lifts. People ask me in my videos like, hey, how come you don't show things? And I'm like, well, first off, because nobody's perfect. And I said, I can't show that stuff on a video because people will scrutinize the hell out of you doing a crane lift. Like there's so many things you have to follow, but then there's too many moving parts. And I'm always telling my guys like, don't get under the load. And they're like, well, what? It's no big deal. And it's like, just fucking come on, guys. You know, I'm an ass when it comes to crane lifts. The other day, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just to say, I remember the first time I was involved in a big crane lift. I asked them if I could like sit on the unit as they lifted it up onto the building. And they were like, "No." I'm like, "Come on, dudes." I didn't really know. I don't know anything about safety.
We did maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We replaced a old Ream, I want to say it was, rooftop unit with a Daikin. Okay, and this is the first time I've ever experienced this. They had the drops going down through the curb, screwed from the inside down in the ductwork from the inside to the unit. Okay.
Oh wow.
So we started pulling it up
and screw the ductwork to it.
Good God. Yeah.
So we started pulling it up,
man.
and then like one of my guys was standing back. He's like, "Stop, because the ductwork was coming up through the building." Yeah, it was ripping up. I'm like, "Oh my God!" And then like I'm unscrewing it. I'm having him hold it up like 12 inches. I'm unscrewing it, and then all of a sudden you hear the trunk line inside the building. It's like boom, slamming on the bar joist.
Yep.
You know what?
Wow.
I can't diss the guy because if I was doing rooftops a lot and you just can't get to it sometimes, I don't know. I do it. I do inside, outside, sideways, back door, front door. If it stays, it screws, I'm screwing it.
Dude, listen. If you have there's no fasten your ductwork another manner, okay? There's no need to connect it to right. Your unit is supposed to sit on top, and then you could lift it off. And I know in California you need to have your hurricane straps or tornadoes or whatever the heck they're called. But anyway,
yeah, for the fucking Sharknadoes that come through. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, you don't need hurricane straps if you just screw it to the ductwork.
exactly.
Well, I've had two things. Number one, I had a crane operator tell me a story about they kept telling him to lift, and he's watching the weight because they can see the weight in some of these newer cranes as they're lifting, and he kept telling them like, "Something's wrong, guys, something's wrong," and they were like, "No, it's good, it's good." And he pulled the feed from the main panel downstairs. They never unhooked the electrical that was coming in from the bottom.
Come on.
Yeah, so he said,
wow.
dude, the fucking feed came from downstairs. Like,
Oh my God.
Like
It's like a spine, like fatality.
like Predator.
Finish
I
it.
didn't see it. That's just the story the crane operator told me. But now what I've seen too on some of the lifts I've done is, assholes that'll literally mastic down like roof tar the unit before they set them. So we have to take breaker bars up there. And if you have them lift, and if we can see it, you can tell like, okay, this thing isn't going to lift, and we'll have him and we'll hook up to one corner of the unit and then go down there with a pry bar and have them lift just a little bit and break each piece, a little bit.
I had one do that on me once. It almost pulled the curb right off the roof. I mean, it was.
Butt heads will go and they'll liquid nails or mastic, especially if the contractors do the job and not the HVAC guys. Generals will go in there and they'll just mastic that thing
Put some
down.
Gorilla Glue on it. It won't blow away.
That's like
the electrical guru in the chat was asking, did it go boom? I'm assuming he's talking about the electrical.
I wasn't there. That was just what the crane operator told me. That was a wives' tale.
You know what? That's another pet peeve I have about changing rooftops is when they run the freaking electrical through the curb into the unit.
I've always been afraid of this. Have you ever noticed on some units, they also have an auxiliary drain in the middle of the unit? If you ever lift up a package unit, right in the middle of like a carrier drain pan, there's a freaking drain stub right there that you can pull out. Imagine if someone hooked up the drain in the bottom too.
Oh man.
Can you imagine that?
Why would
there? And I'm like, why is that even there?
Yeah, why is that even an option?
I swear. And every time I look at it, when I lift up a unit, I go, dude, that's a freaking drain nipple. Like, what is it doing there?
Why would that even? In what situation would you need that? Like,
I don't know.
Residential? No.
Next time, I'm trying to remember if it's a carrier unit. There's one that I change quite often, and when you lift it up, watch that thing. There's a freaking red plug as a drain nipple right there, and it's like, what the hell? Right in the middle.
Yeah.
So, Chris, are you the one manning the crane, or are you the?
I'm the signal person, and I'm anal too. Yep. Come on, you want me to show you my hand signal?
Wait. What do you like again?
Yeah, shut up. But so I was doing a lift on Thursday yesterday, and again, I gave the kid the benefit of the doubt. So we were doing a super easy lift, so we just ordered the smallest crane that the crane company had. And so this kid pulls up, and I was already annoyed because he was probably in his 20s, and he pulls up in a crane, and he has freaking green hair, lime green hair. And I already judged him. I'm like, dude, this is not going to go good.
No.
So okay. I tell him, hey, we're going to have you park right here, so I go up onto the roof, and my dad was there. My dad was handling the load downstairs, and the guy comes up to lift it's just a refrigeration unit off the roof. And I noticed that he was real jerky with the boom, you know, and I hate it when crane operators, they can't operate the handle smooth. And so I noticed, like, you know, I give him the stop signal and it keeps traveling. And I'm like, hey, stop, you know? And then it finally stops. And then, you know, so I was kind of annoyed by that. And then I tell him to stop, and I'm rigging up my load on the roof. And then I tell him to lift it up. And I look down and he's staring at his phone. He's fucking texting.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I had one guy do that.
Scream at him, hey, to get his attention. And he's like, oh, okay. So then he lifts up, and I'm like, all right, okay. I kid you not, 2 more times when I had him stop for a minute, I looked down and he's fucking staring at his phone. And I was
the funny thing is, how much does he charge per hour? What's a crane company cost per hour?
This amount. And I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, man, I was about ready to go kick that dude in the head because he was pissing me off. And my dad noticed too. He's like, I noticed he was jerking the boom, and I go, yeah, he was. I hate operators like that. And my dad was like, dude, I swear he's like the owner's son. And I go, it seems like it, because why the hell would a crane company let a dude with green hair that looks like a fucking derelict come work for them?
That's a liability right there.
Green hair.
Out there, Chris, do you guys have to pay a crane like for the entire day?
Okay, not normally, but the job that I just turned down for on the mall, yeah, they were going to send out a 40-ton crane, and there was an 8-hour minimum, and it was going to cost $2,000 for that crane. For a freaking 7.5-ton package unit that had to do a 50-foot lift, like 50 feet away. And I was like, what the hell? I've never seen an 8-hour minimum before. Normally, the highest I've ever seen was a 4-hour minimum.
Yeah, we usually get done in an hour. We have everything ready for them.
Oh, no, I'm in and out in 20 minutes, dude. Like, usually, because we sneak attack those things in there. So
yeah, a few times that we've done it, it's the whole day. You just pay for the crane for the whole day, and even if it's only 2-3 hours.
Now, here it's a 3-hour minimum.
Now that we're talking about cranes, very recently at a local hospital that I used to do work for, to me, actually, in the city I live in, I don't anymore. Someone messaged me, or I saw it on social media, that there was a crane accident there. And so they were doing a lift on the hospital, and they had a mega crane out there that they had counterweights and everything. And the lift went smooth, but when they were disassembling the crane, they had removed the counterweights, and it fell over. Landed on top of the building. It was crazy to see these pictures.
Really?
Yep.
How did it?
This is because I don't know. I've never seen them disassemble a crane that big, but I would assume there's a point at which they have to lift the boom straight up and down.
Yeah, that's true.
And take the counterweights off and then start lowering it down.
Or if it's one of those mega cranes, they fold the boom in half or take it apart or something.
I don't know. But it was when they were finishing the job. So.
And did it destroy the building? Destroy the hospital?
Actually, no. And it was a Sunday. They were doing it on a Sunday, and it landed on the engineering building, the building where I used to work in a lot with all the engineers and stuff. And but nobody was hurt, no injuries. But the crane was laying across the parking lot. It was huge. It was a huge crane.
So they had to bring out another crane to lift up the crane.
Yeah, the pictures that I saw, by the time I saw pictures, they already had about a 50-ton crane out there lifting up pieces of the wreckage and stuff. They were on it.
Jeez, man.
But it didn't land on the main building. It landed on like construction buildings, for the people that run the hospital. So that was crazy.
I was going to ask, Bill, we were talking about it before the show. I guess you guys are not that busy anymore. You guys are sending a guy all the way down to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I guess you guys are not. Jeez. How long of a drive is that anyways?
It's like 3.5 hours, almost probably 4 with traffic. But yeah, things were just kind of getting slow up here. So send him packing down there to do some PM work and have at it in another area. But this week it has been picking up. So I'm hoping that's not the case anymore. But it's weird. Like this, I don't know if you guys are experiencing this. I'm sure you guys are experiencing it a little bit, but this year it's been, COVID, of course, is affecting a lot of things. But with this summer, even though it's warm, like I'm not getting the business like I would expect. Like a lot of our customers are still open, even though the restaurants and stores, they're open. I know stuff's got to be breaking. They're just not calling us. So I'm assuming they're just tight budgets and things.
Yeah. But the way, similar, a lot of our restaurants, we're not getting service calls, but I think it's because my opinion is the kitchen staff is not abusing the equipment as much because, honestly, a lot of the problems that we have with our refrigerators and different things is because the kitchen staff doesn't cover up the food when they put vinegars in there, and we have leaks, and they're just, the volume's not there in the restaurant.
The doors open.
Yeah, they leave the doors open. They bust the temperature controllers when they're washing them at nighttime. They splash everything, and that's what keeps us busy all year. And So now we're just seeing more natural service calls, which take a lot longer to develop.
Yeah.
But, you don't get hey, the drain's overflowing anymore. You get hey, the reach-in's not working, and you go out there and it has a plug condenser, it has a refrigerant leak. It's, it's 8 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
I had a funny one today. I went out to a particular place to work on, it was a heat lamp that they plug into an outlet, right? And the outlet was melted. No big deal. I'm changing the outlet, and they're like, "Hey, could you take a look at our plug on our shake machine?" I'm like, "Yeah, not a problem." I'm like, "What's wrong with it?" "Oh, it's just cracked." And I'm like, "All right." I finish that up, and I say, "Let me see this plug that you're talking about." And they pull the shake machine out. I kid you not, the shake machine was basically the plug going into the wall. Basically, had no plastic on it anymore. It was just bare metal going into the outlet, and you can see on the back of the shake machine where it had been arcing out against the shake machine. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you guys use this? Like, how do you plug it in?" Like, "Oh, we put a glove on and then we plug it in."
What?
I'm like, "Oh my God, that is so crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, we got to change that out, man."
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Bro.
Yeah. Some of the stuff you see in the restaurants does just blow your mind.
I was like, "You guys put a call in for this 120 outlet over here that's kind of melted because it overheated a little bit, but that is bare metal arcing at 208 volts arcing against your shake machine." You're like, "Meh, we'll just leave it."
So you
Wow.
raise a good question or a good point, Bill, and it kind of segues something here that I wanted to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I struggle with, and I don't want to talk crap on employees or other people.
Do it.
But some people, they just don't seem to pay attention and or I hate to say my cliche phrase, but look at the big picture. And what I mean by that is a customer calls and they said, "Hey, the plug for this reach-in's black." Okay, so you go out there and your tech looks at the plug and he says, "Yeah, it's melted. I'm going to change it." He changes it, plugs it in, and walks away. But why did it melt?
Yeah, why did it melt?
Is it just a loose connection, or is the condenser dirty and it's been running dirty for 8 months and it's been overamping?
Yeah.
And then he go, again, they don't think past the point of, okay, if the plug melted, do you think some of the wiring's melted too?
Yeah.
So they'll go clean the condenser and say, "Oh, it's fine." And then a week later, we'll get another call. "Oh, the compressor common wire melted off." And it's like, okay, that's not a coincidence. But at the same time, is that a tech's fault? Because these restaurants haven't done PMs for 7 months and everything turns into a clusterfuck. Like, I get frustrated with them, but then at the same time, I feel for them, because could you really, is it too much for me? It is too much for me to expect my tech to analyze the entire fucking region from wire to wire, but at the same time, you still get frustrated, or at least I do.
Yeah. See, my situation was much simpler. I just found somebody had a fork connector on a toggle switch inside of a heat lamp or a heat emitting device that sits over top of a meat slicer, right? And it was just loose, real simple.
Speaking of
someone went in behind you and fixed it, huh?
Speaking of fork connectors, have you guys seen Clive's new frying a hot dog video with?
No, I have not seen that.
No, I haven't. Frying a hot dog?
It wasn't frying. It was cooking it with. He hooked up wires to stainless steel forks, one in each side, and hooked it to 220.
He did it live.
Yeah.
He did it live last Saturday.
I'm supposed to have like a word search alert on my phone of anything that anybody in the world mentions the word hot dog, it pops up on my phone.
I'm actually surprised, because we usually get notifications from Bill saying, "Hey, dude, check this out." And
yeah, breaking hot dog news, and I send it to all you guys.
And it almost hit 1 kW. He's got that little fancy monitor thing that he sits next to it when he
did it blow up? I have to go back.
Split the hot dog,
and he ate it.
Yeah, he puts American mustard on it.
There you go.
And then he eats it.
I like the freaking spicy mustard.
But he also drank what was it, borium or something that he was drinking that night?
Oh yeah.
Borium water.
Let me ask you guys this: can you guys honestly eat a hot dog these days without getting reflux for
once in a while? Oh no. Yes.
Dude, I burp up a hot dog for 2 days straight.
Yep.
I love it when I eat it, but I feel miserable for the next 2 days. Like, I'm just like, oh god damn, I can't eat that processed meat anymore.
No,
Can you eat it? Can you eat it in one bite?
No, I am not. I can't deep throat a hot dog, Bill.
No,
Joey Chestnut.
I guess.
I don't
had to ask though.
Okay, so talking about the guys and we were kind of talking about something before. It's funny. We have so many things we want to talk about and then we run out of time. But I've been noticing that I get frustrated when I go out on service calls and I'll sometimes send one of my techs like, hey, go do a PM over here, you know, and they'll call me in like 3 hours, you know, and it's like, I know I could justifiably spend 6 to 7 hours on that PM, and they'll call me in 3 hours and they'll be like, everything's good. What'd you find? Nothing. Good TDs on everything. Okay. What about pulleys? What about contactors? What about
no cracks in them belts?
Did you check? And I love the answers. Did you check all the belts? Yeah, they're good. No, that meant I didn't check any of the fucking belts.
Yeah.
You know? Did you check capacitors under load?
Capacitors under load.
Yeah.
There's always something, like you guys always mention. There's always something to find.
Take a voltage reading across the closed contactor. See if there's a voltage drop when it's closed. If if it's too high, then, you know.
I just get frustrated.
Sorry, Chris. I was just going to say, now, Bill, your company, I'm assuming, sent that guy over to Cleveland, Ohio, doing PMs. We're thinking and hoping he came back with some work, maybe?
Yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal at any PM.
Or he's just bad tech and they were trying to get rid of him for the day.
Like, how do we get rid of this guy? He's so annoying. But, you know, I mean, that's honestly the goal with any PM. You don't want to find things dishonestly, but, you know, like we were talking before the show here, you can find things wrong on every machine. Like you just got to look. I mean, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not like you're finding things in a dishonest way. You really are preventing maintenance, even if the capacitor is just slightly out of that 6%, you know, capacitance ratio or whatever. Eventually, it's going to start wearing down that motor.
There's so much. Pulleys. I mean, pulleys are always bad, to the point that when I do a PM, it's like I feel bad because I'm like, I have this list that's a mile long and I know the customer doesn't want to see this list. So I'll sometimes be like, all right, I'm going to prioritize some repairs here because I know they're going to repair some stuff. So it's like, all right, we're going to ditch some of these pulleys because they're not horrible yet. And we're going to throw in these contactors because they're burnt really bad. But I mean, it just frustrates me when you send people to do a PM, you know, and I almost get the feeling from some people that they feel better than a PM. Like they feel like they should be doing more important stuff. And it's like, my frustration is sometimes I feel, you know, that people don't appreciate what we have. Like these PMs are what keeps us going.
Yeah.
Adam, can you real quick? I'm sorry, I don't mean, can you pull up a screen share real quick?
Nope.
That I popped up? No. So this was 3 PMs that I did. Okay. And this doesn't look like a lot of work, but on the right-hand side, that's a blower wheel. That's a motor. That's a shaft. That's a video that I already made. We were there doing a PM. We noticed that the unit was vibrating, and I had a tech there and he said, oh yeah, it's vibrating a little bit, but everything's cool. I went out there and I said, no, the blower wheel's bad. All this stuff, you know. The next one to the left, there's a pressure control. There's a dryer service valve. Again, I was cleaning a refrigeration rack and I noticed there was oil on a compressor, you know, and then the one behind that is a pulley and belts and an expansion valve, you know, and it's all stuff. Again, I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody, but it's just, you know, people, I don't know. I just get frustrated when they don't.
And it's another day's work, right?
That's the way I look at it, is that's hours.
Speaking of a long day's work, Mr. Green in the chat said his boss expects a PM on 20 rooftop units to be done in 3 hours or less. So
okay. Well, but that's a good point. Okay. So boss sold that as not real PMs, then so be it.
Yeah.
If your company sold it as just a swing by slap filters and move on, then call it that. You know, but if your company sends you out and says, we have 7 hours to do a PM, don't call me 3.
And see, we have like, I don't know what would you call it, like different levels of PM. Like some of our customers just want filters. Like you don't touch anything else. Nothing else. You don't look at the condenser. You don't look at the belt. You only touch filters. Wow. That's it. But
to argue on that one, I'll send a guy out there and I'll call him in like 4 hours. Hey, what's going on, dude? Oh, I'm just checking contactors. And I go, we told you it's just a filter.
Yeah, you know? Oh yeah, I didn't know that. I can't read or think.
Then you send him out on a full PM and he's like, I'm done in 3 hours. It's like,
yeah, I know, right? It's so frustrating. You know,
put your thumbs in his eyes.
Yes.
It's funny you say that, Chris, because down here is the same thing, or up here is the same thing. Belts are always changed, but nobody checks sheaves, pulleys, how they're lined, nothing like that. The extra.
Yeah.
money right there. The PMs don't pay for you to align. Most of my PMs, they don't pay you to align pulleys and change sheaves. So that's just go into the list. And then when you're done with the PM, you turn in a fat list and they approve 7 out of the 32 items.
Yeah, that's what we do.
You know?
Yeah. But it's that third tier PM where they're like, yeah, we want you to PM like everything, check everything for us. And then, they come back and there's like, I didn't find nothing wrong. Like nothing. It's a 17-year-old rooftop unit. You didn't find nothing wrong with it?
Yeah. No, that's perfect TD.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. Capacitors are good. Contactors.
On the return in supply is 20 degrees. It's working perfect. No, it's not.
Yeah. Some
Our
people's
choice,
kids,
baby.
man.
You ask, you look, and again, I don't expect everybody to know everything, but I know that your expected TD is going to change depending on the relative humidity. So when you say, hey, what happens if the humidity goes up? Where does your TD go? What happens if it's really dry outside? Where does your TD go? And their eyes roll over. Well, it should be 20 all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
20 all the time.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Even if it's like 95 degrees in there.
Yeah. Or the TD is great. It was 35 degrees. That's not great, buddy. Something's wrong. What? It's great. No, it's
My
not.
evaporator was 27 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I guess
know?
this is a big complaining thing. We should probably have my employees on so they can complain about me.
Oh, that would be awesome. Like to not have you on the show one day and then bring your guys in here.
Probably a good idea.
Oh, that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen.
What were we complaining about before the show started? That we're like, yeah, we should talk about this on the show. I can't remember.
Was it what were we talking about?
I think it was the PMs.
No, we were talking about customers or is money? Was something to do with
Money.
customers?
You said we gotta leave money and names out of this.
So since the COVID thing started, what I started to notice is customers not paying their bills.
Oh, yeah.
And then dragging things on. That's
yeah.
like I have some customers that are 90 days out right now and they have a lot of money on the line. And it's like I'm thankful to be busy, but at the same time, I'm financing their work like a credit card company, but I'm not getting paid interest.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're busy, but you're not reaping the rewards of being busy.
No, because by the time I would benefit from the work that I'm doing now, they will have already filed bankruptcy. So therefore they wouldn't have paid me for the work that I'm doing now.
Oh man, that's crap right there, dude.
That's that's the fear of being a business owner. You're putting money out on the line and they could file bankruptcy. And
when they file bankruptcy, could we mention their name?
Yes.
if I'm mentioned in the bankruptcy contracts, no. Because you have to wait 27 years and then we get a letter in the mail that says, yes, you will be getting a settlement of 27 cents.
Cease and desist. Well, you can always just pull a Nancy Kerrigan.
Correspondent, live from Monterrey, Mexico, starring in the highly anticipated segment, Questions for Yammo.
Yammo!
Hey, Yammo.
Yamamoto.
Yammo, I have a question for Yammo. Yammo, in my neighborhood, the elote man comes and he walks down the street to sell me his corn, right? But he honks a fucking horn that drives me nuts. Why does he honk that stupid horn that goes ee-aw, ee-aw? Is he fucking? That drives me nuts, man.
That's how they get everyone out of their houses to buy corn.
Like a donkey, right?
Yes, it sounds like a fucking donkey. He's honking the fucking horn.
You need to go buy a piece of corn and stick it in his horn.
Here in Mexico, the street corn man does the same thing, but instead I do it manually. They grab the horn and put a air compressor to it, like a bulb or something. They're extremely loud and extremely annoying.
I also hate that corn, by the way. I hate it.
No, I think it's pretty good.
Like, isn't that corn dipped in mayonnaise then covered in like spicy sauce? It's disgusting, man. I don't even get it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I don't even understand it, man.
It's good.
I remember growing up, I used to see that, and it looked really disgusting. And the idea of someone putting mayonnaise on corn sounded
It is
Agreed.
disgusting.
Yeah, I'm the same, Chris.
Gotta try it. When you put mayonnaise and Parmesan cheese and some seasoned salt and some tahini on there,
It is good.
dude, it is.
Oh, baby.
I call it tajin.
I will never like corn like that. For one, I never like corn on the cob. It's just messy. And two, I don't like mayonnaise enough to just dip things in it.
I bet you when Bill gets done eating corn on the cob, he looks like a freaking 4-year-old dude. Like he's got corn all in his beard.
Yeah,
Just
it's like a shotgun blast of just corn.
in fact, Bill, go dig in your beard right now and pull me a piece of corn out. I bet you.
I can get you some popcorn, honestly, because I've been eating a lot of popcorn. And I'll just eat it at night. I'm just like throwing it in my mouth, and I'm like, oh, look at all this popcorn I have left. I'm like, look at this, awesome.
If Bill was in Southern California working with me, his beard would just be popping when it's like hot on the roof. It's just like.
Hey, fun side fact. So my sister sent me a beard kit for my birthday, right? And it came with these beard ornaments, so you can hang in your beard for Christmas time. Awesome. It's gonna be epic this year.
So I sent a picture before. Oh, I did actually. I sent a picture before the show because what brought up the elote, man, was there was a shaved ice. I can't show it on here, but there was like an ice cream man that was rolling through my street, but he was one of these trucks that sells shaved ice, and he had like, I don't know what he called it, but it was like what do you call it?
Mayonnaise flavored ice cream, probably.
Not mayonnaise flavored ice cream, but it was shaved ice. But it was mango flavored with chamoy on it, and
oh yeah, that's not bad.
that stuff was killer. But I showed it to the guys. It had mangoes all in it, and everything. It was really cool. It was
give
just
it a
like,
little splash of Patron on top, you know.
Oh, that would some silver. Yes. Oh,
You know, when I go to Mexico, we go to the no sé cómo se dice en español, pero la tienda de helado, and it's like the ice cream store, but like they
Ice
have
cream
the
shop.
ice
like
cream shop.
or whatever.
It's
Yeah.
like, they have all these different ice creams, but it's like almost like they're handmade with like fresh fruit in them, like kiwi and strawberries.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's amazing.
So I live in a primarily Hispanic like neighborhood area, so we have a lot of those kind of shops and stuff, and it is pretty cool actually. I love that. You know, I love the food for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Off topic, guys. Before we go, I just want to see if anybody uses these. I don't think you guys used them when I just mentioned it before chat. I'm thinking of getting one. That's why I'm asking, because they're cool to probably have in your.
Nope.
Pretty cheap. It's like a swage tool, but you just squeeze it, and it does a swage. And Chris mentioned that Hvac has one like that, a manual one, right?
I mean, I think
not that the one that I know which one you're talking about. But
I think Joe, you spend a lot of money on tools. You should just get a good, solid hydraulic swedging tool. I mean, trust me, like it's great. It's only like $200-300.
You know why I don't buy the hydraulic swaging one? Because they don't make 1/4 inch.
Do you have the spin?
Hillmore does, I think.
Because I burn through freaking swage bits. They wear out quick with the spin one because I use the 1/4 inch, the 3/8, and the 1/2 inch, and the 7/8 the most.
I think Hillmore makes one though. You got to order a special. Like I bought the Hillmore kit, and there's a space for the 1/4 inch. It just doesn't come with it.
It's with the Hillmore. I'll have to look that up because I'm always looking for one that has a 1/4 inch swage.
Hillmore has like 4 empty spaces, and I'm just wondering what size pipes.
That's to annoy you. So when you get it, you think, oh, I got to have those. And then you look at it, and they're probably like $37 a freaking extra piece.
Yeah, for like 2-inch copper or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, that Hillmore swedging tool, I'm so glad I got that. It's saved me so many times, man. Oh yeah, I got it years ago.
The thing is,
I have
though,
to clarify this right now because there is something going on in the chat, and I'm going to put a stop to it right now.
what's happening?
Just so that you guys know, the best toppings on pizza, period, is pineapple, jalapenos, bacon, and onion. Okay, if you don't like pineapple on pizza, you're dead to me. So,
pineapple.
Pineapple on.
Yeah, I could deal with that. I would eat that over your mayonnaise corn.
I don't know.
So
there is this pizza. I don't think they have. I mean, they might have the frozen pizzas everywhere. You guys tell me. Home Run In. Do you guys have it by you? The frozen pizzas. They're awesome. It's a Chicago-based pizza place, but this is the only place I've ever had pineapple pizza, and it is pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapenos.
Yep.
And it is good.
Oh,
Raise yourself.
very nice.
Oh, correct.
They call it sweet caliente.
Jalapenos.
What is it?
I wonder if my microphone is
What is it?
proof.
Jalapeno.
Dude, come on.
Jalapenos.
I live in the Midwest, and I am not of a Hispanic descent. I don't have the freaking.
I can pronounce Portillo's correct.
It's not Portillo's. That's an Italian restaurant. It's Portillo's, bro.
Italian? I didn't hear no Italian in there.
The dude is Italian. He's
Portillo's.
Italian.
The L's are silent, dude.
The guy who owned it,
Portillo's.
Dick
Yeah,
Portillo.
Portillo's.
Dick Portillo is Italian.
Portillo.
Yeah, that sounds
Portillos.
now.
Yammo, Portillo, right?
That's how you say it in
Portillo.
Spanish. Yeah, Portillo.
Yes.
Hey, Bill.
I'm from California, guys.
John was saying it does an inch and 3/8 OD. That Hilmer?
Could. I don't know. I don't have that size. Mine's, I think the highest bit that I have is like 3/4.
Clive says my pizza is called cheesy abortion.
Cheesy abortion. That does sound better than that pineapple mess you were talking about earlier.
I don't speak Spanish, Mr. Green. I would probably pronounce tortilla incorrecely. It's tortilla.
Tortillas.
No, it's tortilla. That's how I say it.
Do you get sick
My-
of pizza?
Yeah, it's correct, Chris.
A
tortilla.
vagina.
Do you guys get sick of pizza? I always have Friday night pizza night. That's what we have by my.
I've had this pizza every day.
what
I
I
love
say.
pizza, man.
So,
I love pizza. I want pizza right now.
I do too. How come it isn't delivered to my house? I need to.
nothing sweet on that pizza.
They do.
No
They
pineapple,
will, man. They
no
will.
maple syrup, no honey, no anything.
You ever-
nothing.
I got-
Hey,
What about taco pizza? You guys ever have taco pizza?
yeah, from Taco Bell.
No, I think Pizza Hut used
Taco
to make it
pizza.
a long time ago.
Yeah, oh wait, is it yeah, Mexican pizza. So Taco Bell
Yeah,
again.
they make a Mexican pizza.
I grew up when Taco Bell was still good and it didn't give you the shits. Or that, or my stomach just could handle that stuff
That
back
must have been a long time ago.
Like in the
But,
30s.
Mexican pizza, man. That's the thing, dude. It's like an air fried flour tortilla with beans, meat. It's like a 7-layer burrito on a little tortilla that's crispy.
All right, I got to tell you guys something I'm a little bit ashamed of. I'm going to admit this because I think there's somebody out there I can help.
You were gay, dude. I knew it. It's okay though.
There's
It's cool.
somebody that I can help right now that was in the same spot I was in previous to this, okay? But when you order a pizza and you order it like in an app or online or whatever, and they say, what do you want on the right half of your pizza? What do you want in the left half of your pizza? And if it's the kind of pizza where they put cheese on the top, sometimes it's a little difficult to figure out what side is what, right?
Yeah.
The pizza restaurant by us, when you open the box, when they say right half, it's on your right side.
Cool.
Who would have known they put it in there like that? It's so professional in that.
I don't even understand what you are saying.
If you order pizza
I
with
didn't
you order
realize
pizza,
that's a problem in the world.
you order pizza on the
on one half, I just order a pineapple, tomato, onion, bacon.
It's
and
like
my
when you're trying to
my
figure out the
family-
direction of a motor shaft, and it's like clockwise left-hand rotation. That the little analogy that they use.
clockwise opposite shaft end. No joke.
Yeah.
I have a motor that says CWOSE.
No idea what that means ever.
Yeah.
I always have to
Clockwise
Google it.
opposite shaft end. Why would they not just say clockwise lead end?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
everybody, so there's clockwise shaft end and clockwise lead end, not clockwise opposite shaft end. That drives me nuts.
But when I order pizzas and they have like different toppings, I can always just see it. And like I open it up and like, oh, there's my toppings. I guess that's my side of the pizza.
Talking
Yes.
about
Oh, that's a good point, Adam. Clive says, what happens if it rotates in transit and you eat the wrong side?
that could be an issue.
Yeah.
well, you think they would say left and right on the cardboard box? When you
What
open
if-
it, left,
What if you have a round table, Joe? Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
I've been doing it all night to everybody.
We're dead.
One question before we have to get out of here again. We're talking about abbreviations and stupid sayings. Why do they call that fitting, Adam, a Goldberg fitting? Like, what's Goldberger about it?
I think it's named after. It's
The
also
wrestler?
known. It's also known as a rounded bullnose fitting. I think is also a terminology, some type of terminology for it. But I think it's named after Rube Goldberg. Are you familiar with Rube Goldberg, Joe?
No. Did he make rude product? I don't know. I don't know.
Rube with a B. He used to make all kinds of like little things that and like, did you ever watch Pee Wee Herman, like the movie?
Yeah.
You know, like when he wakes up in the morning and his alarm clock goes off and it like makes his breakfast and does all kinds of stuff and
Yes,
balls are
holy
rolling
shit,
around.
yeah.
That's kind of like a Rube Goldberg machine. And the reason why I believe they call it a Goldberg fitting is because it's like a goofy fitting. It's doing two things at once, like a Goldberg machine. So a Goldberg fitting is 90ing the duct and also changing its orientation, like you, Joe.
Nice one. No, it's cool because I used to just call him.
Gender
What the-
fluid.
I think we should leave on that note.
Oh god. Yeah, I think we're going down that
Come on with that.
on this.
Box. I don't know what did I call those? Box transition, or I don't know what I call them.
If you guys that are watching this show could only hear the conversation that goes off, hopefully after Adam hits stop recording, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't think we want
Wait,
to.
it's funny after we go
it's
off the air.
vulgar.
It is.
It's just vulgar.
Adam likes to hit doesn't stop recording, and then
I think last week, what did we talk about? For like 20 minutes, Joe talked about that lump that he couldn't figure out what it was.
And no, it wasn't my. Yee-hoo.
No. No, it was in the other spot, the hoo-ha.
Oh God! Get out of here now.
let's wrap this up, man. It's been a great show.
Yes, it has. Thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you next week. Same place, same time.
channel.
See you.
Do you want to take us out, Steve Domininsky?
Yes.
With the sweet, smooth jazz.
He's not in here, but
Well, that didn't go as well as I planned it.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the fly there, guy.
We could there you go.
Smooth jazz.
whoops. All right. Sorry. On that note,
See ya.
See you guys.
See you guys.
That's the longest button push ever. What's going on here? It's like, what does it consist of, this Discord stuff?
It's a giant chat room.
Is it?
Yes.
That's
it's
it?
a giant chat room with private chat rooms. And I could listen to music and you guys can listen to the same music that I'm listening to, but you can't talk to me.
so it's like
really
a stalker hangout.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. It's got some pretty cool place with people to hang out. It's just another
Is that where like serial killers go to talk about serial killer stuff?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups like that on there.
Yep.
Like new ways of stalking people?
I don't know
like-
what you're talking about.
Like you can like discuss ideas on making like bush ghillie suits so you can hide outside of people's windows.
It's not the anarchist cookbook freaking message board or
That's
anything.
what I imagine it.
I guess it could be, but mine is highly moderated and people
Oh,
get kicked.
it
out.
is highly moderated. Let's say that.
Adam has a hard time cracking through. Adam got banned from the server for a while.
Oh,
Oh,
snap.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, the moderation team handles it all, and I'm just like, all right, cool. I come in there
I
once,
just-
twice a day, say hey to everybody, and then I look at the history, and it's like, whoa, Adam, what'd you do?
Can I be a moderator? I want to be a moderator.
It's funny because it's the first time I got muted for however long, like days or whatever. I really pissed them off in there. And I think you gave me some type of like immortal privilege where nobody could do anything to me. Somebody did, because one of them tried to like mute me or ban me. And it's like, we're sorry, this user is protected. That action is not allowed. I'm like,
I saw that. That was so
Boom.
funny. It made me laugh so hard because they literally were kicking Adam out, and then it was just like,
Can't do
unable to
that.
do this.
but then they did it anyway.
Oh, Rich.
I'm not kidding with you. Like, again, my moderators, Ike is my number one moderator, and he kind of runs everything for me. And he literally has an application. Like I was confused when he sent me the application. He's like, this is what they have to do to apply to be a moderator. And I'm like, do I have to pay these people? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay. But like, it's a full on application they have to fill out. And then they like vet you. And yeah, it's a trip, dude. They got that stuff.
They won't even send me the application.
If Ike focuses on his HVAC as much as he focuses on Discord,
Yeah,
he's
doing great. He's doing great, man. No, he's the man. If you guys want that,
I'll join if I get immunity, so I can go in there and say whatever I want.
That's what I said. I want diplomatic
that's what I
immunity,
want.
but it doesn't work.
You hear this, guys? His mods are in here. We're like,
my save only goes so far in this server. Like people message me and they're like, hey, like Adam was like, please, Chris, I really want to come back in. And he was like begging me. And I was like, Adam, I can't do it, dude.
That's not how that went down whatsoever. I was like, Chris, screw you and your stupid Discord. I'm out of here. And you're like, please, dude, you're like one of the only dudes in there that's talking
You're like my only
and
friend.
blah,
I'm
blah,
like,
blah.
Shove that big picture up your ass.
oh my god.
No, it's actually pretty cool though. But
I want to join now. Just only if I have immunity, though. That's it. So I can say stuff like
we'll
that.
we'll make sure that your name is Bill is protected. That'll be your name in Discord, so you're protected.
There should be a role. Create a new role, please. HVAC overtime role, and we all have diplomatic immunity. We could say or do whatever we want at any time.
I don't know about that.
Yep.
No.
Yep. That would be cool.
Let's just say I did that before on a Discord server we had, and
we behaved. I think honestly,
well,
I think
it wasn't us that was the
Right.
problem. It was other people that were the problem, and we didn't have rules on the last Discord server.
I think the
our
reason
rule was the only rule was don't be a dick.
Yeah,
That was.
like there was no rules.
but
And
I honestly
let me
think
say too that there's some people that came in and caused a lot of problems in the other Discord server, and they were very quickly kicked out of this new Discord server. So
Good.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yep.
I think that one of the only reasons why I create ruckus in there is because of all the rules. To be honest with you.
Mm.
And what you have to go through, to be honest with you, what you have to go through, even after like not even the moderator application, but just to even get into the server, you have to jump through so many hoops, and you have to like follow all these rules that Ike has set up. And most people are just like, that's stupid, and they leave. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
You know, this encore is going pretty long, but you know what I just realized, guys? I didn't realize this. Tiny Pick Diagnosis troll name.
Just notice that.
What is it?
It's Tiny Pick Diagnosis.
We got some competition here.
Oh,
Snap. Who is that?
He's like, why would you want this much work when you can just have that much work? Let's see if I can do a square. Yeah, there we go. That much work instead of that much work.
Oh, that's funny. All right, let's end this.
yeah.
Should we play? Maybe we should just bark at it again, or I don't think we should play the music, right?
Bark at the moon.
Just bark at it.
Play some sweet, twangy southern music.
Yeah. Chris has some twangy music, I think. Or I think we have it.
Yeah, you have it.
Southern music.
Your twang music that you do to intro the thing. The
Tiddly
what?
twangy. Not the R2D2 song.
All right.
What are you playing?
That's the one. Oh, I hate
think-
that noise.
What
Rick
are
has
you
some
doing to
fun
that cat?
with the sound effects? Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me ask you something.
We were allowed to do that.
No, not that. But now you got to link the artist information from that song, because you actually, to use that song, the only rules are that you have to link the name of the artist in the show notes of your video, so you don't get caught.
That's all right. We'll just demonetize this one.
Yeah, they'll never find us.
That was like for a split second.
No, they won't get you for that, but they actually won't get you. But that's free music in YouTube, and the only rule they have is that you link the artist.
Oh, really? Cool.
Audio phonics or something like that.
Well,
Hooked on phonics.
since next week is 50, I think we should go out like we came in.
I thought we were already out.
With a bang.
Yeah.
Go with
I
a
came
bang.
out of a vagina. I'm confused.
Yeah. Get back in there.
Get back in. Fuck these
Yeah.
kids. I'm going back in.
So how does that beat? What do we do? Boom.
End it.
All right.
Zing.
Yeah, this is the old song.
Are we supposed to not talk right now?
That song is cool.
Yeah. I like the new one better.
That's true. There's a bit of nostalgia. Nostalgica.
That's right, Bill.
It's like the old times.
I remember that before we had to go to the unemployment office.
Oh, I didn't even. My wife just lost her unemployment.
Why?
She just quit her job. They asked her to come back, and she said nope.
No, good for her though.
She's gonna get a different job, but
I mean, as much as you're shipping stuff out, she could just work for you and work from home.
there's really not that much profit in that.
Yeah. Not enough to replace her income or anything.
No.
No,
Are we off yet?
that's boring talk. I can always tell when we're off and when we're not by Adam.
Yeah, smart. I'm not going any further.
Oh my
I was trying to egg something out of you, but it wasn't working.
Nope. I know better.
What are you looking at, Joe?
Sears
I-
catalog?
Actually. Our Facebook is still growing. It's pretty cool. It's pretty impressive. I like it.
We got 1,000 people on there yet?
Not yet. It's getting there. It's getting there. We haven't been on long, and it's getting there. It's a fun place to be. You know what I mean? That's what it's like.
That's where all the cool kids hang out.
I agree.
I asked them.
Yep.
You know?
Yammo.
See, Yammo's inside of his helicopter again.
Hey, careful, man. Don't stick your head up.
Hey,
Get to the chopper.
why is Tom taking
I
forever?
was just gonna say that. Like, is this song always that long?
Adam is dragging this out, hoping we
Is it on a loop?
it because we're still live.
It must be on a loop, man. It's like a gift song. I heard the same part like 3 times already.
Wow.
You know?
Adam is just hoping that we screw up and say something stupid.
I don't care. I don't care what people think. I also don't care what people do.
Adam
I don't care.
Space so we can put commercials on the live stream.
I don't care if Joe is gender fluid. I still like him.
Where'd you come up with that? That was
I don't know.
nowhere.
Oh
I
man.
never heard that solo before either. When did that get in there?
Right?
You know? It's not bad.
You know what's amazing, guys? Adam never thought. So now I wonder why. You know when we're live.
He's pushing the button.
Yeah. If we were live, he would be talking.
I think Adam has become the puppet master.
Yeah.
He's the puppet master.
Yeah. With a bunch of old floppy socks.